Hello guys, welcome to my channel again. So today we got round 4 of the World Championship match 2023 between the world number 2 Jan Nepomniachtchi and world number 3 Ding Liren. After 3 games, the result is now 2-1 for Nepomniachtchi, and today is game 4. So Ding Liren got a chance to play white. As you know, so in game 2 Ding already played white, and that somehow was the game he lost, right? He tried h3, which is, I would say, not a successful, opening surprise, I suppose. But today, he returned to his normal opening. So let's take a look here right away. c4, knight f6, c3, e5, knight f3, and c6. Something surprised you here is that Ding already played the English against Nepomniachtchi in the Canada's 2021 in the first round, I think so, and he lost the game pretty quickly. I'm pretty sure in the game he played something like g3, I forget, but he played something else. So today he chose a really, I think, Prussian approach. a3, b4, c2, takes, sends to the b pawn. Up till now, this was on like theoretical stuff, right? I think here, so this is the main line, so Nepomniachtchi must expect that. But Ding chose, a relatively rarer, but also one of the main line here actually. c3. I think queen c3 is the main line here, which black can play queen e7, so a3, and then d5, so like takes here. Oops, I don't mean that. That's one, I think, so now d5, and then queen b3, but this one should be 5 for black. So in the game, he put something else, bc3, d6, and e4. Okay, castles should be 2. There are still plenty of games at this point. I think black can play various steps. I'm pretty sure Nepomniachtchi must have prepared for this. So in the game, he chose, a very principled approach. Knight 5. With ideas to jump to f4, right? I think here he can also play knight 7. d4, like play here, and then like queen e7, and here I think we should be, I think for me, around probably equal. Let's try actually. So d4, white 5 for the center instantly, and then somehow he want to just control the center. Knight 4 also is gotta stop here. In fact, here I was quite surprised that Nepomniachtchi didn't play the engine choice. The top engine choice is the queen f6, which black wants to put pressure on the pawn d4 right away, right? So now castles maybe like ed4, knight f4, and I think black is doing okay. When in game, Nepom chose a different approach. If it was play, takes, and now the pawn is double on the f file, right? But here, so black got the e file pressure. He also got some space in the queen side as well. So I think the position looks fairly dynamic. Castles, okay. f6, 3-1, 3-8. So now I think Ding started to get out of book, since he started to think here for quite a long time. So in the commentary, which.com, I think Anish Giri suggested like bishop rook 81 or even c5 here, which is pretty double-edged. For me, I don't know. I think if I were white here, I would play like h3, which is my choice. So it prevent bishop g4, right? Also queen here, with ideas to play for bishop h3, can just like queen h2, and rook e4 is basically losing on the spot. But here, I don't know. I think it should be somewhat equal. Like bishop d7 here, and white can play slow chess, and I think it should be fine overall. In the game, bishop d2 was play. g4, black activates the bishop. So I think this should be not the best one, knight e2. Okay, so here there comes a move that the engine didn't like it. But I think it suits Nepomniachtchi style. Here, I think the best way to play should be like b6, control c5, or maybe the queen here first. I think this one is the most simplest option here. So c5 will become a thing that is not working at that point. You guys may wonder why I played c5, right? I will answer it very shortly. In the game, Yan played knight e5, which allows c5 instantly. And now the game got into a very complex part. So now I think it's simple. The pawn at c4, which is somewhat like a weakness, right? Now has been, pushing. It's been pushed. And now it can go here if you want to. I think here the pawn can play b6, which I think Anish also mentioned in the commentary. So I can play like here, and like here. And then maybe like h3, and then the progression still remains, I think, slightly better for white, who can try and prepare like queen a4 before like e5 in the future, probably. So in the game, dc5. And if I'm playing pretty fast, which I think he could expect this move, e5, queen a6, and d5. We got a pawn sacrifice, and then obviously it is quite a nice thing, since in general we got a strong center here, right? Oh no, we are down white down a pawn, but somehow we got a strong center right here. And then as you can see that it just kind of allow you to be able to have like a very strong center. And also what I can say is that black is a bit like run out of space, right? The knight here is also very passive too, and then it is not even an easy thing here to play for him. We did in the game, we did d4. You can see it, right? This one describes things, I think, perfectly. The pawn here are very good. It gives white like the strong center and also some more space. The knight here looks pretty bad, isn't it? And it's not easy to relocate it to somewhere that it can be more, useful. In the game, b6. Ready? Get the knight back home. h3. h5 here. This one looks a bit weird, but we should be here. I think this is very like the best move here, since now bishop can go to g6, which threaten the bishop threats. So bishop d7 here will be slightly wrong due to like maybe knight f3, and white can just play here and here, and he just, you can see, right? He obtained some very easy play, and black in fact will suffer a lot with the progression, right? It's not even easy here to just a plan for him. So in the game, h5 was play e4. So this comes with a threat. Rook e5 doesn't work with 2 bishop e7, and white wins the exchange, isn't it? And rook knights. So now rook e7 was played here in the game. The plan is to play this move. Queen c3. Rook d8, also understandable. I think queen g5 is another alternative, but white can probably play like bishop, like knight f3. So take here with the bishops, and as you can see now, right? The pawn here once again looks very good. Bishop also looks much more superior compared to the knight here too. So let's play here, for instance, you can have a chance to play d6, when a pawn, I think, here will prove to be very annoying for black. So in the game, here was play f3. So now, once again, the opponent should play pretty fast. Play knight b7 right away. I think black got plenty of choice here, like queen g5, bishop f3. I don't know, I think this one should be around equal. Wanted to find a planet as well. As you can see that somehow black is pretty passive, right? But it's also not easy for white here to be able to penetrate in. So in the game, b7 right away, e2. So I think at this point, both players get around like 38 to 39 minutes. So it's not so easy here to play for black, obviously, right? Who is now out in space. Queen g5 here can be a thing, but e1 here looks just simple, right? And black is in some trouble. I think the best way here to play this move here, which the engine claims that equality, but I still think it should feel much easier to play for white, who got more space, and black will suffer with how to get his pieces into a good spots. But to the game, actually here I forget that there's also a very fun line that I want to show you, which I did see the commentators mention during the match. G4 here, for instance, this one. So now you can just play like, let's say even like h5, right? This one h5 can be done here, or even like this one here, for instance, knight f3, and then you can play f5. See, right? But this one is also a good sample here. Take care of the rook and bishop here is trapped. This is also a sample to show you that white also will not fight very easy here to get better in the situations. F6 in the game. So e6 here and 96. So before we just keep on talking about the game, I will explain a little bit, about the player style. For me, so Ding is like one of the best professional player on the earth, and Nepomniachtchi, is completely different. He's like one of the best tradition in the world of chess. In general, so Nepomniachtchi is a guy who doesn't love some kind of, a bit boring maneuver game or some kind of peaceful moments. He loves something more dynamic. He loves something that is more, complex and more complicated. So here, even though like just allow white to get a very strong pawns here, right? But obviously he got a strong score for the knight. So now the knight can even go here, or at least it can just, control plenty of things. What you want in the game? Knight f5, you see, right? It's a plan of Nepomniachtchi. Let's take here, e4. The pawn here is weak, and g5 allow queen f6, right? In the game, so queen here, defend a pawn. Queen f3. So here there comes a deadly mistakes, which I will say that is a little bit strange for Nepomniachtchi's level. As you know, he's top 2 in the world, right? Here, so g5 is the most understandable things. Somehow it looks a bit weak, but in the meantime, it's not easy for white here to make progress in the king side, isn't it? Also now, it doesn't seem too easy now to make a plan for white too. This square is almost covered, right? So now, like, in fact, can't even think about queen here and then pushing here, obviously, when I think the outcome of the game will still be very unclear. In the game, never was play. And this one, in fact, is a mistake. And now there comes a very strong positional sacrifice from Ding. I assume here Nepomniachtchi just kind of predict like queen f4 takes and plays c6, I think so. When he can start putting pressure on the pawn, right? And he can get some activities. But sadly, in the game, I can briefly explain things like this way. When Ding's, when Ding waiting for Nepomniachtchi to make a move, he was like this way. It was like, basically lean on the chair. Then when he saw d4, it was like, he was like, he looked at the board. I think with a disbelief. And he sensed something there. And he played extremely fast. d4, which the engine gave it to exclamation mark. So, take here and knight b3. I will explain things for you very, very easily here. Why? What is much better after this. The threat is simple, knight d4, and then this one, right? The rooks are always, are only good if you have the open file for it. You have some, open file and rank for it to be able to invade and for it to be able to be activated. Here, obviously, you have nothing like that. 34 is nice, right? And here it's not easy to defend a pawn at all. c5 is the only attempt here, but loses instantly to d6. The rook has nowhere to go, isn't it? So to avoid being captured, this is the only choice here. So takes, and now d7 comes. The only way to prevent promotion is this one, right? But that runs into mate. See that? And no defense at all. So suddenly for black here, he wanted to play c5 a lot, but he's simply, it's simply impossible due to d6. And white obtained a winning position instantly. In the game, so g5 was played. Now d4. So you can see, right? This, and black is just paralyzed. Queen g6 in the game. And now there comes another very strong move by Ding Liren. g4, exclamation mark. At first sight, it looks fairly illogical, right? That like somehow white weakened up his own king side, isn't it? But here the thing is that since black is too paralyzed, he couldn't be able to exploit things. I will show you some samples here. So h5 for instance, right? Now f5 takes here, you don't even want to take this one. Black is too passive. Here and then queen e4. You see, right? Somehow the queen can't even be able to go here, right? This square are uncovered. So black has no chance to exploit things, right? Croatia here run to knight 7, and black here can only sit and wait. So g4 in the game. Takes here, see with the f pawn. Obviously the queen need to stay here to ward this f5 squares. h5, knight f5 very precise. From here, queen e4. Once again, it's a threat. Okay, shit. You can see, right? Black is extremely tied up. g4, you can play h4, and h4 plays g4, right? And suddenly these rooks here and these pieces just got nothing to do. You know, in the commentary in chat.com, I think, you know, the commentators even mentioned king h2, king g2, you know, trying to torture black. But Ding obviously is he needs to win desperately. He wants to go for the win by force. e7. The threat here is just this and this. Here black can try to survive a little bit by queen g8, I think so. After g4 for instance, he will still be in huge trouble. The plan is like a4, a5, c5 here, like, you know, like one thing I want to do. Why just obtain a dream positions. In the game, Nepomniachtchi, who probably just want the game to finish, the queen f7, which is not a good move of defending, but it's hard to recommending something else. This is here in the game, takes, that is here, and now this is the threat, right? Queen g8, takes, and queen e6, taking the pawn. And now black is in trouble. Rook here defend a pawn, run into this one, right? And rook here run into queen f7, and the queen on e8 is removed, and you can just push the pawn, right? So king was played. Now in fight, you still must be a little bit careful. Even though when you are completely winning, be careful in your opponent's ideas. Rook d1 looks fairly simple, right? But it can allow king g6, and the pawn here is a bit weak. So that's why they start with rook f1 first, which is damn precise. So it forces black to defend the pawn here, right? With this one, and the rook d1 comes. And you see, right? Rook d8 now is impossible to be stopped. So f5 on the game, f5 here, queen e5. Rook f6 here allow rook to d6 or rook d8, right? So king f7 only choice again, queen f5. King e7 allow here as well, right? Which is also winning material. So rook here forcing, checks. And now I can tell you there's simply million ways to win. You know, queen e4, rook e1, rook d5, even c5, even like h4, you know, like basically here I think there's like 8,997 ways to win, whatever it is. So in the game, Ding spent 4 minutes here to find the best way to win. He chose queen g7, which is also very powerful. Like, you know, there's so many ways to win, right? The threat is just rook e1. And now, you know, I will show you a example why this line is very good. From here, right? Got queen g6. Here it is mate, right? And here it is even more beautiful mate. So that's why here, you know, the only way to play is rook to f5, but this is also very bad here due to like maybe queen here, you know, and king here e1, and with the same way of finishing. In the game, we was play in the game, and queen f8. Queen here is not working the rook e1, right? The skewer, and here the Nepomniachtchi resign without waiting for the finish, which happened to rook d8, for instance, right? White can play rook d8 here, which will finish the game right away, or even stronger is queen g8, and it is now obviously over, isn't it? Now the rook can protect the queen here, and this is nice, and this is just resignable. So to be honest here, Ding play a great game. You will see it right here that the game is in his control, right? He just play, nice But then obviously, this is a close game that was lost by mistake, right? Somehow knight d4 is just a bad move. That allow white to go for this one, and the exchange sacrifice just decide the game instantly. But still, this one now is, I would say, one of the most important win in Ding's career of chess. He leveled the score, and now I think the game now will only get better. The match is heated up, and I think now it will be super fascinating to see some next games. For me, now the chance is just 50-50, or Ding can now even get some more chances. He seems to until right now, and now he just play better chess. I think now it depends on Nepomniachtchi to see if he can play well, and if he if he not getting tilted after these losses. Obviously, as you know, so when in 2021 when he lost against Magnus Ray in round 6 after like an 8 hours game, he just got crushed, I think, fairly easily in some next rounds. So now it's gonna get more fun and more interesting. Good luck to both players, and I can say I think me and you guys will both enjoy the game, right? So see you later in some other videos. Hope you enjoyed the recap, and peace.